just a quick video here about just a little story, actually. I just wanted to share how... Actually, let's start with a question. And the question is, if you had a choice, what would you choose? Love or fear? Now, it's not a rhetorical question, actually. And I ask that you do really sort of chew on that and give it some thought, because I imagine that 100% of people would say that they would choose love over fear, of course. However, on a subconscious level, we're operating out of fear, and so yeah, I ask you to really give that a think, and I've got a little story for you. But first of all, there was a story about Winston the tree, and the gypsy moth nest that was in there. When I stopped being afraid of what everyone else was afraid of, and started asking questions, the whole paradigm changed, and essentially that gypsy moth nest is non-existent. It's literally a skeleton in the tree. You know, all this time on from when I did do the last video. Anyways, just going ahead to the other story. It's a story about the German yellow jackets. Not Germans in particular. It's a bee that I had to look up based on the description of it. And they're meant to be quite an aggressive bee. Some people call them wasps. To me, if it's yellow and black, it's a bee. A cooperative force with nature, and they don't bother me in the least. And I've never been stung. Used to be afraid until I questioned why I was afraid, and I was afraid because other people were afraid. But what did that have to do with me, really? Nothing. So I treat them with respect. So every day, really, when I have a meal on the deck outside, they come along. And generally the first thing that I eat in a day is a big bowl of fresh fruit and vegetables. So they come along for the sweet bits, the bananas and the apples, and in particular the juice from the frozen berries. So they come along straight onto the food that I'm also eating, and it's quite wonderful. I talk with them. I love them. They fly around, and to me they're no different than dogs. Like, they get really excited, and they buzz around my face, and I laugh because, like, they come so close, and I say, I would kiss you, but you're just too small. So yeah, like, it's just this wonderful thing. Like, for me, there's just, what's the reason to be afraid? I just questioned that to the point where I have to, like, admit that there was a bit of trepidation in the beginning when I first started this experiment, because, right? Like, because it's the unknown, really, and maybe I'm just being a fool and I'll get stung. And now I'm at the point where if I do get stung, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. You know, if I have an allergic reaction, well, I do then. And I think to not be a fool about it, and recognize that it's a possibility, it lessens the charge even more. Does that make sense? Yeah, so like, I ask you to question the things that you fear, and then why you fear them. And is it because you actually, it's your fear, or it's someone else's fear? Like, and actually, as I walked home today, from my walk this morning, there I was, as usual, barefoot, carrying my shoes, and there was a kid who walked towards me, and I suppose he was going to school, and he was wearing a mask, and I asked him, because I don't know, I asked him if they have to wear the mask in school, and he said yes. And I said, all day long, and he answered in the affirmative. And unless they're outside during break. And then and I said, do you have to wear it on the street? And he said yes. And I said, who mandates that? And he said, the principal. So okay, really lovely kid. I mean, he was curious about my shoes, my trainers being in my hand rather than on my feet. But bless him, he didn't ask. That would have been a great conversation too. But I welcome that. I love it when people question me. But anyways, he didn't. But he was so lovely. Maybe 13, 14 years old, and he wished me a lovely day, and I him. And then we were on our way, but I like, why, oh boy, why people are covering their mouths on the streets, outside, in the fresh air, boggles my mind. It really does, you know? And this is incredibly sincere. It's not a you know, it's not a this versus that thing. It's just a human thing. Like, we have the most fantastic organism. We are. This body temple is the most incredible machine in the world that cannot be replicated. No one will ever get as close to our magnificent form with any robot, with any IT, you know, invented thing. Impossible. It's impossible to replicate the human body. And it was Dr. John Gilday who he worked in a diagnostic military lab a long time ago, and one of his first assignments there, and he was fresh out of school at the time. I can't remember what university he went to. Maybe John's. I can't remember. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'll link the conversation below. But Dr. Gilday, you know, so what he was commissioned to do was to he had to develop something to be able to detect an airborne virus within 90 seconds. And he went through all kinds of prototypes, things, whatever. And do you know what he came out with? In the end, he said that there was actually nothing better than the human nose to ward off any airborne virus. So, really, in all sincerity, I get it. I guess it's you know, what you believe is, and my belief is that our body temple is just so incredible that that really we are invincible. We're already super, and we're super, period. And if we would give our bodies the opportunity to just do what they naturally do, you know, again, you know, I just did the video about shoes off, walking barefoot. You know, give your body the opportunity to regenerate from the sole up, the soles of your feet, and which what, like, is connected to the earth, which is connected to your heart, which is connected to the sun, which is connected to your soul. It's all connected. It's all one, right? That's when it's an inside job. That's when it's an internal thing, you know. And then when you start inviting the external stuff, I think that's when we run into problems. But anyways, that's just me, and I suppose I trust. I just have a great deal of faith in the human form, and actually in the human race as well. I think no matter what, we're doing pretty awesome. You know, if we're all expressing our own realities, then God, we've come really we've come a really long way. The human being is quite an incredible force in and of itself, and together we're really pushing the boundaries all the time. You know, we just got to look around and appreciate what's around, and look at all the things that we've built. Look at all the things that we do. Look at, you know, all the advancements we've made as a collective. You know, we're all a part of that. You know, and we're all a part of what's going on right now in the world. I'm not separate from it. You know, I'm a part of the problem, for sure. And I'm also part of the solution. We all are. So, you know, just ask questions. I think that's that's what I've always got to say towards the end. Just ask questions and question me and just question everything, you know. And let's keep things light and let's appreciate what is good. And you know what I appreciate is just talking to my neighbors, talking to people, you know, meeting someone, opening the door to someone before they've even knocked, and having a conversation before they, you know, get to the mailbox and drop whatever it is they were going to drop in there. You know, it's really the connecting that's so super important right now. So I leave you with that, and you know, I send you loads of love and a warm embrace, and ask you to go and hug the person next to you if there is somebody. And if there isn't, well, it's your pet. And if there isn't, well, start with yourself anyways, right? Anyhow, loads of love to you, and I wish you really well. And until next time, onwards and upwards, okay? I love you.